What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are back, you guys, with a new episode review of Abbott Elementary, you guys. So this is season 2, episode 9. The episode is titled Sick Day, you guys. So before we go ahead and get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and you guys aren't yet subscribed to the channel, do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date. Stop taking me on this date, you guys, and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Abbott Elementary, shall we? All right, you guys. So this episode, I do this every week. Like every week that I talk about Abbott, I can't even start the video without laughing because it is such a great show and it's always nothing but laughs. So the episode opens and we're in the teacher's lounge, right? So Janine is in there, Melissa, Barbara, Jacob, and Gregory. So Janine had this tuna sub, right, that she was gonna go take home and eat for dinner. I was like, ew. First of all, I don't do tuna. Tuna is just nasty to me. The way it smells, the way it looks, it is just a hell no for me. So she opens up the refrigerator and there's nothing but eye mask in there. And she's like, where's my tuna sub? And so Ava comes in because those eye masks belong to Ava. And it is a business that Ava has that she's selling online. I was like, oh, only Ava. So she asked Ava, so where's my sandwich? She says, oh, it's over there with the mayonnaise and the other and the milk. In the window, I was like, Ava, why would you do that? So Janine went to go get the damn sandwich. Jacob was like, you remember I told you I got a tapeworm, and did he say Tanzania? Wherever he said, Botswana, Zimbabwe. She's like, Jacob, all you gotta do is just say you got a tapeworm. He says, but it's a meaning to that. I was like, oh God, Jacob. Now, you guys, I want to point something out that I found very fascinating. There is a YouTuber. Her channel is Tita Takes. She does Abbott Elementary reviews. So if you guys are not subscribed to her, go over there and subscribe to her. She's very funny. I love her videos. I watch her after, she posts her videos after I posted my review. But yeah, definitely go check her out. I will actually on the community tab, you guys, I will put a link. I will share one of her videos so you guys can go check her out. But she made mention to the fact that if you guys ever pay attention to Ava, go back to this episode and go look at Ava when she is when she's making her coffee, right? Ava is dumping she dumps a whole pile of sugar in her coffee. And I just noticed I happened to look at it in this week's episode because, like I said, Tita Takes, which I think her name is Martha. She mentions it every time, and I'm like, I never noticed it until she mentioned it a few episodes ago, right? And I was like, Ava does, and I looked at it this episode. I'm like, God dang, Ava you might as well just take the thing off and just pour the whole sugar in your coffee, right?
Here's what I found.
I wasn't talking to you. So then, you guys, on top of Ava dumping all that sugar in her coffee and taking the food out of the refrigerator and putting the eye mask in there, Ava forgot to sign their paychecks, baby. I would have beat Ava down. So Janine ate that hot ass sandwich that had been sitting in the window. She's like, oh, it's just Mother Nature's microwave. I'm like, that is tuna. That might have salmonella. Oh, Janine. No. So let's pause here and move forward, you guys. So we're on the next day, right? So Janine called Ava, and Ava kept denying the call. I'm like, Ava, you're not gonna answer the phone? She was like, I'm not gonna answer the phone. So she eventually answers it, and it is Janine who has food poisoning, right? And when Ava answers the phone, she's like, I'm not coming to jury duty. I'm like, and Janine was like, you don't have my number saved? She's like, no, I can meet a better Janine. And I'm like, oh my God, why does Ava always talk down about Janine? So Ava is looking for a sub for Janine, right? Because Janine is like she's not gonna be able to make it in, and she ran to the bathroom. So it turns out there's a shortage of subs, and they've sent Ava a memo, right? Ava has ignored the memo. I'm like, damn, Ava, what do you do with your job? Like, Ava. Like, there are times where you look at Ava and Ava, you be like, Ava, you should really be fired. You should really be fired. But then there are some times where you look at Ava and you be like, you know what? Ava has some redeeming qualities. And in this episode, you see some of Ava's redeeming qualities, right? So we see Barbara and Melissa. So they're in the teacher's lounge, right? And they are talking about how, quiet it is today. And Jacob comes in and says, Janine is sick. She has food poisoning. They were like, that's what it is. I was like, no. So y'all are relishing in the fact that it's quiet because Janine is not here, right? So, let's pause here and move forward, you guys. So, Ava is going through the entire school looking for a sub. She went to look for Ashley. Ashley is already subbing for somebody. She called a sub, and then she was like, I'm already here. And I think she was subbing for the man in last week, in the episode before, before the Thanksgiving break. So then she saw a student that's one of Jacob's students. She went up to him, and Jacob was like, Ava, that's one of my students. She's like, no, that's not. This is a grown-ass. God dang. It wasn't no grown-ass man. It was a kid. So then she goes to Mr. Johnson to sub. Mr. Johnson told her no. So she called Janine back, right? So Ava is going, actually Janine is telling Ava about this binder that she has in case of a sub. I was like, only Janine would have a binder, Janine. Girl, just leave the lesson plan. It's that easy. Just leave a damn lesson plan. You don't need a binder. You don't need a binder. You don't need a binder, Janine. So Janine is telling Ava to read the binder. She's like, girl, I'm not reading that binder. And she says, and give my kids their spelling test because they really need to take their spelling test. It's Friday. Ava's like, they can take it when you come back. She's like, no, please give them their spelling test. And if you need me, call me. She's, I don't even have your number. I was like, but it just showed up on your, when she, Ava didn't want to do it at all. So then we see Barbara and Melissa. So you guys, like I told you, Barbara and Melissa are enjoying the fact that the teacher's lounge is very quiet without Janine, right? But the coffee pot is broke and Melissa got burnt. And so Jacob's like, see, if Janine was here, Janine would have fixed that. And they were like, oh, God. They looking at Jacob like, Jacob, shut up. So then there's a girl named Tasha in there, which we've never seen Tasha. And I guess the reason why we don't see Tasha is because Janine annoys the hell out of Tasha. So Melissa and Barbara, they are clamoring towards, Tasha. Who ain't feeling that? Jacob ain't feeling that. And then they invited her out to lunch. And Jacob was like, anytime Barbara and Melissa go to lunch and Janine asked to go, they always tell her that, the restaurant doesn't seat table for 3, but they can do it today. That's because they don't be wanting to go to lunch with poor Janine. Oh, you feel bad for Janine, but Janine is a lot. Let's keep it real. Love Janine down, but Janine is a whole hell of a lot. So let's pause here, you guys, and let's go ahead and move forward. So you guys, we're in Janine's classroom, and Ava is going through that binder, and she is skipping so much stuff. It said to put the day on the board. Ava didn't want to do that. It was so much stuff that Ava did not want to do. I was like, Ava. You can tell that Janine has these kids on a schedule, and it sets the tone for their day. And Ava is basically messing that up, right? So at one point in the episode, she was supposed to read. She was sitting in the kids' chair where Janine reads to them, and she had a book that she didn't. She's like, I want to read that. Eloise, I believe. She didn't want to read that. Then she's gonna tell them a story, a personal story. I was like, Ava, please don't do that. Don't tell these kids your personal business, right? So Ava, like I said, she was going through the little binder. she was skipping through to do what she wanted to do, and at one point she played some music. The music was so loud that Gregory's students couldn't even do anything. So Gregory went to Ava to tell Ava, like, what are you doing, Ava? And I love how Gregory broke things down for Ava. It's like, it's structure. Janine is trying to instill structure with the kids. So by you not putting the day of, the day on there, it's like, why don't they just look at their phones? I'm like, these are kids, Ava. Now, they may have phones, but can they read them like that? And, so yeah, so he talked to her, right? So eventually Ava called Janine up again, right? And Janine, at this point, I think Janine was high as hell because she told us she took some melatonin, some Imodium, some Pepto, and some Bismol. I'm like, those are the same thing. And then something that Erica brought back from Mexico. And mind you, she's laying down and she got some crackers on her chest. I'm like, oh yeah, she is definitely high as a kite. So remember, I told you guys Ava is selling these damn eye masks, right? So Ava is getting negative reviews from her eye mask. So she left the class. And who did she leave in charge? Mr. Johnson. I was like, why did you leave Mr. Johnson in charge of these kids? So that's when Gregory had the conversation with her, right? So I'm gonna pause here and wrap up the episode. So I got a little bit ahead of myself but this is the point where Gregory was telling Ava why Janine does the things that she does. And she's like, so you knew about Janine's dork manual? So Gregory was able to talk Ava back into going into the classroom, and she did, right? And remember, I told you guys that the kids had a spelling test, right? Now, earlier in the episode, Melissa went to go print some stuff out for her students because they had a test, and they couldn't take the test because Ava has printed the flyers out for her business. So Ava went to go print the stuff out, right? And then she was like, out of paper? Now, who don't use up all the paper? You, Ava. So Ava, she flipped it over and she went back and gave the test to the students. And she actually was, a little girl was like, so it's pictures that it's a picture spelling test, right? So the little girl didn't know what the picture was, and she says it's a B. And so the little girl was like, well, how do you spell B? And I love the fact that Ava actually sat down with the little girl. She's like, so she knew B, but she didn't know EE. So she was like, what other letters can you use to spell B? I was like, okay, Ava. And like I said, you guys, earlier in the review, when it comes to Ava has her bad qualities. 100% Ava has her bad qualities with this job. But there are moments where you see that although we feel like Ava is incapable of doing this job, she actually does have moments of, times where it's like, okay, Ava, I see you. Like, you're not just this superficial person who only cares about social media, reality TV and stuff like that. You do have a sensitive side to you, right? So we see that Janine has returned back to school, and Melissa and Barbara, they missed her, and Janine saw Tasha. She's like, oh, Tasha, let me come sit with Tasha. Like, I'm done. I was like, damn, ain't that about a biatch, right? So Ava came in to tell them, like, hey, if anybody mentions anything about, those eye masks, we don't know nothing about it, right? And Ava also, she got more printer paper done, and she got some other things done that needed to be done at school. She told them, yeah, they sent it in the memo. That means memorize. I was like, not Jacob, but Greg were both like, memo means, what does a memo mean? It's a memorandum, ain't it? Memo is a memorandum, not a memorization, Ava. Well, I'm going to give you half of a point because you responded to it. And then at the end of the episode, you guys, Jacob. So Jacob, if you guys noticed, at one point in the episode, Jacob had those things under his eyes. So people were talking about they were getting freezer burns, and Jacob's eyes, whoa. Yeah, keep them glasses on, buddy. But that's it, you guys. Overall, great another great episode of Abbott Elementary. I want you guys to let me know what you guys thought about it down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, you guys. Turn your post notifications and share the video. And until the next time, you guys, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Be blessed, you guys. And wash your hands. And I'll see you guys in the next one.